What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, September 3rd, all thrown off because we had a Thursday game and Labor Day Monday. It is Wednesday night. We finally have a game that we get to talk about. We get to talk about Cincinnati, a big victory over Cincinnati, a 20-17 victory over Cincinnati and the Fighting Taylor Swifts, who the Huskers were able to take down in game one. I am joined tonight, not by my brother who had to work because his priorities are all out of whack as a doctor. He is unfortunately away tonight, but I got a co-host that I brought on, one of my best childhood buddies, Chuck Hall, joining us. You may recognize Chuck. He is the coach of one of the best 9-year-old flag football teams in the state of Nebraska. So you may recognize him from the fields. Chuck, thanks for joining us tonight and ready to dive into some Husker football. How you feeling?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first, go Big Red. Thanks for having me back. It's been like 9 months since we've lost a football game, so I feel pretty darn good.
He's feeling good. Okay. Here's where I want to start. Well, obviously, first we got to talk about the HuskerStore.com. HuskerStore.com. I got this hat there. This is the new Tom Osborne hat. We've got it at the HuskerStore.com. If we die, we die. We got a lot of good stuff. I even set up the Run the Damn Ball, and This is the Year, which is still relevant right now because it's still the year until it's not the year. So check those things out at HuskerStore.com. But here's where I want to start, Chuck. The roller coaster of emotions that we've experienced over the last week. So game was Thursday night. I know we were obviously stressed. Husker fans were stressed, like out of their minds. I was very, very nervous going into this game. Arrowhead was absolute madness. 66,000 Nebraska fans went down. The tailgating was absolute mob scene. We can get into that. But from my standpoint, like I stressed like crazy through this game. The emotions like way up and down. I've since the game ended, I've rewatched the game twice. So I've been able to a little bit more to digest this a little bit better than I was. Andrew and I did a live recap pod, and we're up until like 2 a.m. Podcasting for 3,000 people, which is kind of mayhem, just like emotionally rehashing the game. But now I've had the chance to sort of sit down and work through it, which we're going to do today. And I think even as I look back at like what happened over the last week, like during the game, there were plenty of moments that I was like, we are not going to win any games this season. But then there were moments where I was like, maybe we'll win 10 games. And I literally finished the game and was like, I don't even know if this team is good or bad. I have no idea. I'm absolutely exhausted. But we won the game, so it doesn't matter. And it's taken me a week to get back to the point that I'm like, okay, I'm ready to talk about this.
Yeah, these gimmick games, whether it's, hey, why don't you start you on a Friday night at Illinois, or how about a game in Dublin? It's like the gimmick games are no good for anyone, right? Whether we win or lose, there's no chance you're sleeping on Thursday night. So your Friday is a disaster. Saturday, if we lose, is a disaster. The rest of the season's over. So the rest of your year is a disaster. But we didn't. We didn't lose. We pulled out the victory. But you're right.
This game was like 10 years of Husker football in one, of like the depths and the heights and like all of it together. All right, so let's jump in and talk about it, because I think what I was probably most concerned about was we had hyped this team up all off season, and we were like unbelievably fired up for it. I was like, that first snap and the first drive, like you're gonna be able to see if this team can play or not. So I'm going to be honest, like that first drive, they kind of like drove down the field pretty quick. Our first drive was a punt situation. We had like a few. How are you feeling after those first couple drives? I was nervous, and I'm blaming it on jitters, but I was like, uh-oh.
Well, yeah. And I mean, we're in a group chat too, and I think it was just the immediate, oh no, we suck again, right out of the gate. And I know it's technically a 15-minute quarter. That quarter was like 10 minutes long.
But there was just nothing like that. Even like the quarter ended, and I usually Andrew and I do a pretty good job of like live tweeting through things. And I got to the end of the quarter, I was like, I didn't tweet anything. Like nothing even happened. It was a weird, like, did any big plays happen? Did any real plays happen? It was like 10 minutes long. I'm looking at it now. It was actually 11 plus 8, 18 plays was all there was in the first quarter. So it's kind of nothing. It was a weird quarter. But it happened, and it was like, yeah. They score the field goal, so we're down 3. So first quarter, it was definitely a like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was absolutely it was underwhelming for the start, because I mean, you just expect like, okay, we're gonna just maybe run a couple plays and then take a shot, and you felt that way the entire game. I mean, we'll stick to the first quarter, but yeah, you felt that way the entire game. Like, oh, he's setting it up. It's like
never happened.
We've been saying, when we say that for decades, right? I remember even hearing my dad say it, in the late 90s, like, oh, don't worry. they're really holding out. They're going to show you something later. Like, oh, they're just running the ball and being conservative now, but just wait. Later in the season, they're going to break it out. They never do. It's like, this is what it is.
Yeah, and so that's what this game was weird, was because, one, I mean, we'll definitely get into that. The fact that our longest play of the game is 24 yards to Hunter. But all throughout the first half and then even into the second quarter. So we controlled the ball. First drive coming out of the second quarter was an 11-play, 42-yard drive that ended up with an absolute bomb. So we got a field goal kicker, which is awesome. But it was like we controlled the ball. We're like, okay, like we control the ball. We can move the ball. Raiola was looking pretty good. I mean, he completed 78% of his passes on the day. He looked pretty good throughout. He felt at least a little decent that we could like drive, but then there was enough there that you're kind of like, okay, what's going on? So the game continues on. The next drive is a 16-play, 80-yard drive that ends in a field goal. I guess I want to kind of flash forward to like even where we were at half, or not right before half. I would say at the 6-3 point, it's 6-3 and you're kind of like, okay, we're controlling the ball and it felt like we were dominating. We had twice as many yards. We had twice as much time of possession. So by the end of like almost towards the end of the second quarter, we had 20 minutes to their 10 minutes basically of time of possession. I mean, do you feel like you felt that we were like controlling the game heading into those final few minutes of the first half?
Well, I felt like we were just going to be able to lean on them. I'm like, this is good. Everything's looking sharp. But wasn't it at that point where Raiola fumbled? They could have had a scoop and score.
Yes. Disaster.
The entire, there will be these sequences of 3 to 5 plays, and they almost always go against us, where a 3 to 5 play sequence, and you look back at the game and you'll lose by 3 or something, and you go, that was it. It was just that 3 to 5 plays where we just had a lapse. But that didn't happen. It was actually the complete reverse. They don't scoop and score. Raiola's able to cover it. Sure, we punted away, but then we force a turnover, and we're able to convert on that. I mean, that was the game. I mean,
it was massive. I mean, the fact that like you're able to get that time of turn, we never get those kinds of bounces. Like that sequence too, I was absolutely losing my mind of. So it's 6-3. We could have gone into the half 6-3, or he fumbles. It's a 14-point swing. He fumbles. They potentially bring that back to the house. They don't. We're able to punt it down. Which Archie, guy's a beast.
He's cool as can be too. I mean, you would think like, all right, I'm just going to try to blast it. He was just hanging back there.
Hangs back, drops it on the 8-yard line. Like
he's the first punter that I can remember since Al Henry. Shouts out to 06 grads from high school that will actually use the sideline to his advantage. Our punters, I don't know. It's like you're in a golf scramble and you got your guy. You're like, all right, buddy, you got 60 yards in. Just advance it up there, put it on the green. And he goes for a flop shot, and he's trying to hit the spinner. And it's like, yeah, that's a really hard shot, dude. Like use the course to your advantage. Same for him. Use the sideline to your advantage. Just put it out somewhere between the 2 and the 15. Aim there, and we're good.
I mean, the way the effortlessness that he did it, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, obviously we've been talking about him, and he's on national television. He's crying all over national television. If he had come, I was getting ready to crush the guy. Like if he hadn't had an unbelievable game, I was gonna be like, this is the most overhyped guy of all time. But I'm like, after the game, I'm like, actually, he's underhyped. Like that is unbelievable that you can just drop a punt, multiple punts in the 8-yard line like he did.
Yeah. I'm very nervous, though. He's so nonchalant with it. You're going to see, and this is going to be classic Husker football, you're going to see something that you've never seen before with him at some point in the season. Like, I don't know,
he's going to have someone's going to have to he's going to have to throw a pass or something. And they'll be like, I don't know how to throw a pass. I'm from Australia. I don't know how to do this. Point being, the guy nails the punt. Goes down there. This sequence coming out of the fumble drive for Cincinnati, if you remember, I mean, this is where I was like, okay, it's 6-3. We're taking timeouts. So he had the first run for 9 yards, and then it was like the second yard is 3rd and 5. But they automatically gave Sorsby. I think it was Sorsby had the ball at the first down. I took a bunch of screenshots and put them all over Twitter. But I mean, it was that
was up there with that Ohio State spot from last year. I was like, oh yeah, it's clearly
absolutely egregious spot that they gave him the first down on. That I'm like screaming, pacing around my house, like I cannot believe this. Like the absolute and that was more of the like, oh, here it comes, right? Like here comes like the bad luck. Like even though we got the Raiola one, I was like, here comes the bad luck for this one. Next play is the Shavers fumble, unbelievable, and they ruled that one incomplete pass. So like back to back, like just like my brain is like melting of like, how can both of these be back to back? Like he caught it and took 6 steps.
Yeah. caught it, turned, took steps, and like I mean that ref was on it so fast to just run in there, blowing his whistle. If we don't dive on that immediately, they could say, "Hey, play was dead." So I mean, that could have gone in a lot of ways.
Third play in that sequence, which again, much like 10 straight years of us not getting calls. 10 straight years of us not getting calls. Raiola fumbles, recovers it. Ball's punted to the 8-yard line. Perfect. First down was against us, but then the fumble, which could have not been a fumble, very easily. The touchdown pass, also very easily. Like there was enough replays of Hunter catching a fantastic play, which by the way, I think he's gonna be very good this year. But there were enough replays there. I was like, they could blow this one dead. So it was almost like 4 of those plays in a row that we had like, wow, we have 4 straight bounces there that shifted the entire complexity of the game. Like it was 6-3 at halftime, and we're in trouble. 13-3, you're like, all right, felt pretty good.
That's basically the exact emotions, right? And so 13-3, you're like, okay, we got this. We're going to get the ball. Now is a time where we have that thing that we've been holding back on, and we're going to have a nice, big, long play. That's what's going to happen.
13-3, head into half, come out at half, we get the ball. Beautiful. Okay. So I think it was at this point or at this drive or one of the next few drives when I mean, having the benefit of hindsight, now I'm like, okay, where was the long ball? But I remember at this point, I was like, he has not, Raiola has not thrown the ball longer than 8 yards all game. Is where like I think in this drive in the beginning of the second half was like, and I started to get like I couldn't, it's like you're so caught up in the emotion of the game that you're like, well, maybe he has, and I just totally missed it. But it's crazy to me that we have this quarterback who has maybe the best arm in the country. He can throw off his back foot 80 yards in the air, and he just doesn't.
Right.
I don't know.
We never even. Are we not looking for it? Are we not trying to set it up? Or they say Cincinnati's just playing this amazing defense. It's like, all right, that doesn't seem. I mean, I don't know.
But like one time, just keep him honest and like have Hunter or the Barney or somebody run like something.
And so last year we did a lot of that with like, having like Jalen Lloyd just out, on like a wheel route on the opposite side of the field, and we would just bomb it, right? So I'm hoping that some of that comes out, but that was all pre-Holgorsen.
Yeah, that was all pre-Holgorsen, and that it'll be interesting because as we jump ahead and kind of talk through, like, I mean, Raiola finished 78% completion percentage. He was averaging 6 to 7 yards per pass. Like, I mean, it's hard to like knock on a kid, especially after watching a full weekend of football where there's some bad quarterback play out there. All in all, he's cool and calm in the pocket. He's definitely got it going on. He's got a very strong grasp of the offense. He's got a very strong grasp of where people should be. He's sending guys in motion the entire game. Like you can clearly tell he's like he's got a control of it. I just am like, it just feels like a check down. Like, it's been there. I watched enough like highlights to be like, okay, actually there was the Hunter 24-yard play. There was the Cortez 14-yard gain. There were more probably 10-yard gains that I give him credit for, but it was definitely during this second half drive that I was like, what? We're just like, because the issue with it to me is you're one bad play away from it like breaking. Like if we didn't get a yard on that first down play, it was like the whole offense sort of just like didn't really click.
Yeah, we have to stay on schedule every time. So, and Dave, I don't know if you know of anybody or if any of your followers know of anybody that actually has like the all 22, because it would just be good to see a lot of that. Be like, okay, are our receivers not breaking? Is he not seeing them? Because I remember we had so much of that when Harburg was quarterback. It was like, oh man, that was open, and he's just never looking for it because he was always looking to just run for 5 yards.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like he found the open guy. There's nothing wrong with finding the open guy on basically every play. He makes it like, and I also was thinking about how. And this is me jumping ahead to like existential crises, but because I felt this the last like 2 years where like we just haven't had like that home run threat. We haven't had a Trey Palmer, even an Adrian Martinez. We haven't had like a Roy Halou, Rex, like any of these guys that can score from anywhere. And I don't know which is better, because the flip side of Adrian Martinez is he couldn't complete a screen pass, and he couldn't complete a check down to save his life. And so it was like, yes, he was incredibly exciting and he could score anytime he touched the ball, but also like that simple pitch and catch that Raiola makes looks effortless. It's like, I don't know. It's a weird thing where you're like, I want it all, give me it both.
And there's always just like that one little thing that we're missing. Like all of a sudden the best center of all time, the all-time, highest paid guy. Oh, he can't snap the ball. He does everything else. Right.
Future 100 millionaire Cam Jurgens cannot snap the ball.
Yeah.
The
Or we
entire
had a
season.
punter that would punt it backwards.
Punchers
Five-star punter, mind you.
Yeah. So, all right. So this drive, because this drive was like, I mean, this is the classic Nebraska drive. You start the second half and we got the ball. We got the momentum. It's 13-3. Arrowhead is absolutely ballistic. Side note on Arrowhead, I heard this from someone who was there. Since it was a Cincinnati home game, did you know they were playing like Cincinnati graphics in the stadium? Did you know
I
this?
did not know that.
Yeah, I heard it from someone who was there. They were showing like behind the scenes, like Cincinnati infield graphics. They're like, come on, Cincinnati, pump it up. Like all this stuff of like all of the in-stadium video graphics were Cincinnati produced. So it was like they were honoring like Cincinnati alumni at the game. Like none of it was Nebraska based, but like Nebraska fans were absolutely dominating and just like completely drowning them out. It's kind of funny, like aside where you're like, it was truly a home game, 66,000 fans going nuts. So anyway, on this drive, 9 plays, 32 yards. We're moving the ball in the second half. You score here. It's 13-3. It's 23. That's your ball game. That's it.
Yes.
The game ends. And that's where I'm like, in the heat of the moment, I was swearing, cursing up a storm, just like, so we go, it's 4th and 2. We go for it. And thank you, Kool-Aid Jewel. Can confirm Cincy hype videos fell on deaf ears. Yes, absolutely. It seems that way. I mean, they were not, there was probably 80 Cincinnati fans, including Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift there. So we move the ball like down the field. It's 4th and 2 on the 43. We've got Archie there. Like he could probably punt the ball and pin him deep. The defense had been playing extremely well in that first half. So mind you, we kind of skipped over that, but they had 2 3 and outs. They were playing pretty swarming. And at 4th and 2 in the 43, you punt that ball in the 8. He punts it easily, effortlessly within the 8, 8-yard line. Maybe you pin him deep. We go for it, which I appreciate the aggression. Right? Like that's you like we said, you get a first down there, it's 20-3, you win the game. But we don't get it. And then they just march in effortlessly down the field. And
that was the moment where you just said, I've seen this before.
It was like, oh my gosh, like what happened to the defense who was just coming off multiple 3 and outs, like who was playing swarmingly well, like that. This is when, at least for me, my life was flashing before my eyes of like just going fully dramatic of like, what is this rush defense? Like what's going to happen when we play Michigan? What's going to happen when we play Michigan State? Like, why can't we stop Cincinnati? I mean, I was swirling. So it's 13-10. I mean, where was your head at when they like marched down the field?
Yeah, this is about the time when I just was on my couch in my basement. I pulled the blanket up and I said, all right, buckle up. We're going fetal position. This is going to hurt, but I'm very ready for it. And I think, that was around the time I was like, all right, this is like watching the Titanic and you're watching a replay of it and like, all right, that iceberg wasn't that big. I think it's going to be okay this time.
The only weird one about this was like there was definitely the swirls of all Husker Nation was having this swarming back. Like here they come. Like I can't believe it. We had the chance to bury him, and all of a sudden we let him back in. The only thing I felt a little bit weird was I did feel like we were kind of dominating, right? Like I did feel like we controlled the ball. We had all of my momentum. We had fans there. They didn't feel like that they were that good of a football team, Cincinnati. So I felt like there was an element where it's like, okay, I think we're going to score. And we punted again. It was like, oh gosh, like complete mayhem. They punted. So we scored to go up 20-10 in the fourth quarter. And that's probably when I probably had I actually felt like at that point we had won it.
Yeah. You need one stop. All right, get one stop and it's game.
And it was like that we had just gone 3 and out. The defense had just gone 3 and out the drive before. We go 13 plays, 67 yards. Absolutely gorgeous. Which, by the way, again, I mean, some of this stuff, it's like, I don't know, in the heat of the moment on this touchdown drive. This is the one that Bonner broke his leg. Poor guy. Bonner breaks his leg, fumble recovery. Very well, they could have recovered that.
Oh, yeah.
On 3rd and 4,
or it could have bounced through the end zone. I mean, that thing takes a bounce either way. There's no bounce it can take other than the one it took to be.
Could have bounced anywhere. The 3rd and 4 play call on this drive was like the lamest 2-yard run ever, and I'm like losing it. Just like, what are we doing? like a 2-yard 3rd and 4 with the game on the line and the opportunity to put these guys away. We did the lamest 3rd and 4 run of all time. Now, Holgerson, offensive genius, next play action fake, beautiful pass to Dane Key. I don't know how much of that was like him truly playing chess or like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that is the ultimate gamble if that's your plan. Like, oh, don't worry, we're good on 4th. Let's just really set this up.
Yeah, I mean, what gives you confidence we're good on 4th? We had 1st and goal in the first that first drive of like the first quarter when who jumped off sides and completely like butchered the drive. So like the fact that you feel like we have confidence scoring first, 4th and goal on the 2 is, I mean, I don't know where he's getting that confidence, but he's got it from somewhere.
And I mean, I guess that's right. That's why you have coaches like that, because I would have just climbed into a shell so bad and I would have just lost. But you guys can't get a yard on 3rd and 2. What makes you think you're going to get it all here when, they got the biggest man in the world right in the middle of the defense? Like,
yeah, he was amazing. The Cincinnati defensive lineman was out, completely disrupted the entire game. But here's the stuff like I don't know and why it's like it's exciting, but also cautionary tale with like Dana Holgerson. He whispered in Raiola's ear some sweet nothings and said Dane Key is going to be open on this play. That's like what Raiola said in the post game. He's like, yeah, he brought the play in. I heard it in my head, heard it in my headset, and he said, throw to Dane Key, he's gonna be open. He was unbelievable. So like that to me is like that's a coach that's seeing the field. That's a coach that knows exactly what's going to happen. He knows he's beat, and he's not even in the box. Like he's not upstairs. Wow. He's on the field. So the fact that he's seeing the field that well is encouraging to me. The discouraging part is like, why did he draw like horrendous plays the last time we were in the red zone? It's like, if you're that like much of a brilliant savant, like why was that 1st and goal play that Pritchett jumped off sides on like the weirdest like 6 tight end set thing? Like it's just like you can't have it both ways.
And it's just so tough too, because a play that kind of gets lost that I was like really cheerleading was it on our first drive and we did the tush push basically.
Yeah, with Harbert.
And it was like, well, that was easy because I was losing. I'm like, oh my God, Raiola on a sneak. That's great. And I'm like, ooh, that wasn't Raiola. Oh, that looked really, really good.
Yeah, we got like 4 yards.
Well, every time we're on the 1 yard line now, we're going to score. That's a nice thing. Nope.
Nope. Got it. Well, regardless, we score. It's 20-10. I'm feeling great. Like, this team the Cincinnati team that hasn't been able to score all game, they're not going to score twice. And 3 minutes later, Cincinnati has scored effortlessly.
Yeah.
It's
I cannot believe they waited. I can't believe they waited that long to just go full Sorsby.
Yeah, it's just we couldn't stop them. We had no answer.
And that's college football too. It's so hard. I mean, red zone offense is hard when you don't have a mobile quarterback or a willing runner at quarterback. And just defense is hard. I mean, we all played NCAA football. If you got a quarterback that's like better than 80 speed, it just makes everything easy.
Yeah.
3rd and 4. Okay, cool. Well, if nothing's there, I'm going to go get 4 yards.
Yeah. And he had it going on. I mean, it was, and we'll get into a second, but like the thank goodness they out Cincinnati, they out Nebraska with their final drive. But yeah, the fact that they waited this long, the fact that it took them forever to kind of figure out their offense, like was all very encouraging to us, which was very good. So they go effortless 3-minute drive that like I barely had time to like even I like went in and got a drink and went to go to the bathroom and like I came back and they scored. It's like, well, I was gone 17 seconds and they scored a touchdown. So now we're 2017 and they put together a pretty strong drive, 10-play, 36-yard drive that covered 5 minutes, right? So we start with basically 7 minutes. They do a pretty good job. First downs, moving the ball, killing clock. Eat up all 3 of their timeouts. So, you play that thing pretty well as you can, but ends in a punt.
And you think about how it ended in a punt too. I mean, we were moving weight. That O-line was moving weight. Shouts out Pipeline Jerky, the fueling these boys. But they were moving guys around. And we weren't even going to consider going at Corleone. We were going wherever he was, we would go somewhere else, but we were moving guys around. And then you go with that, horizontal, just going east-west. It's like, you got to get up the field.
Didn't work. We had the pass to Ja'Cory goes for 2 yards. Then Dylan's sack, which might have been, was that the only sack of the game? We have 1 sack or 2? It was
he got stripped once.
Very bad sack. Very bad sack, loss of 7, and then a 5-yard pass. So we're punting at 3rd and 19. They get the ball. But even still, so Archie, like a magician, punts it on the 8-yard line again. Like the biggest spot of this season, biggest spot of his life, effortless punt to the 9-yard line. Again, I'm just sitting there like 2017. They got to go. There's how much time left? 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. They have no timeouts. Like this thing's over.
Yeah. You guys got to tackle Sorsby inbounds. You know they're going to scramble him. That's fine. Let him get 9 yards.
Tackle him inbounds. Who cares? And again, just absolute effortless movement of the ball, which is just wildly, wildly concerning on so many levels of like how fast and how quickly they move the ball, like how much tape is now there, like our inability to stop them. And I noticed on the
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I believe at this moment that I fired off a message and I need to just make an apology. Well, and we're going to have ourselves an apology to Malcolm Hartzog, because it was at this moment that I said, I know exactly what happens here. Hartzog, I don't know if it would be an injury or if he would just fall down, but it was like Hartzog is going to they're going after him. He's going to get beat, and the receiver's going to walk into the end zone. It was going to be a la Danny Cole for Virginia Tech. I was in Blacksburg for that one.
Is that 2007? That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
But you knew they were going to go at him. And I mean, their OC knew they were going to go at him because that's exactly what they did.
So there's a couple plays on this final drive that bothered me, almost all of them, but a couple in particular, because they go 8-yard run, 14-yard pass. But then, like, by the time they get to the 39, they have this 5-yard false start penalty directly caused by 66,000 Nebraska fans that have traveled to Kansas City, Missouri to go to a game. Unbelievable. And you're at this point, so the 5-yard penalty really throws them off. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 7, incomplete pass on 3rd and 7 gets to 4th and 7. I watched on the replay again. They're all out of sorts. So they go penalty, incompletion. They don't really have a play. Cincinnati's out of sorts. No timeouts, incomplete pass. Stadium is going bananas. Like, I can see Sorsby's out of sorts, wide receivers out of sorts. They don't have the right personnel. Raiola calls timeout. Or Rule calls timeout, sorry. Yeah. I didn't love it. I saw when I rewatched the game, he was like, it seemed like the defense was also out of position and like not quite there, which fine, I guess. I just like for that one. And again, hindsight 2020, it's easy to say in hindsight, like the defense wasn't out there. Maybe they would have gotten it anyways. But it's bothersome that it is 4th and 7 with the momentum going crazy. He couldn't hear what was going on. The players weren't, they were like completely out of sorts. We call timeout. They settle down and they draw an absolute perfect 4th and 7, 2, throwing directly at Hartzog, right? Like they just went right at him. They're like, this is going right at Hartzog. And not only that, you can tell they had drawn up the next 3 or 4 plays because they went Hartzog. Like right after that, it was just like, hey, we have the ball. We need to go at Hartzog. The 4th and 7 is an effortless completion right over Hartzog. And then the following play right after that, they go at Hartzog again. That's when the penalty comes. So the 10-yard penalty on Hartzog on the holding. So it was like back to back to back right at.
I think my problem with the timeout too is, given the nature of Cincy's offense and what they were doing, there was only 2 things they were going to do. And it was just going to be a look deep, right? And if it's there, he was going to lob it up and try to get PI, or maybe you beat Hartzog, and basically what they tried on the final play. Or it was going to be Sorsby, pump, and go. So if the defense is out of sorts, I'm not like, who cares? And if Sorsby goes, well, you're going to tackle him for hopefully a 6-yard gain, and he's going to be short. But even if he gets it, like that clock is going, and they still have no timeouts, and they have no plan, right? They're not going to be able to set and spike, and that
exactly
like
right.
They're in shambles.
It's just like the game's over. I mean, I guess there's a chance of a busted play, but I'm like, the way that thing was going and the flow of the game, it just felt like we finally had them where we wanted them. And I just was like 4th and 7. They got no chance. They need a prayer. It's not going to happen. You settle the whole thing down, everything down. Everybody quiets down. They drop the perfect play. It all kind of irked me a little bit.
And I think the finishing stuff with Hartzog, if you remember, he got beat for a touchdown early in the 4th quarter. And the guy dropped it. I mean, sure, you can say Hartzog made it. He did. He got his hand on it, but he was beat. The ball was a little underthrown, and that receiver gave such little effort. It looked like him last year.
Yeah, hit him in the chest. I would agree with that. And so a lot of Hartzog bagging. he makes the play of the season.
Right.
I mean,
think about last season. What's the play that sticks out from last season that you're like, oh, that was the highlight, that was the peak of the year?
I mean, the Purdue block.
It's Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill.
Tommy Hill pick six. Duh. Yeah.
Right out of the gate. Right?
Yeah. This will be. I mean, this will be what we remember the Cincinnati game on. This will be what we remember the whole season on. I mean, it's the play of the season. Like that, the level of the stakes, the fact that if he doesn't get a hand on it, it's a touchdown, you lose the game. I mean, that we have not had a player make a play like that in 10 years, 15 years.
Riley? Are we going Brandon Riley, Michigan State?
I think Brandon Riley, Michigan State, or Amir Abdullah.
McNeese.
You're with McNeese. You're talking literally 10, 12 years since we've had a guy with the game on the line make a play like that in absolute unbelievable fashion. So I give him mad props, especially the guts for him to get beat twice in a row and to cause what I thought was the game losing intercept or the holding call because they were in field goal range.
Yeah.
So I mean, I immediately went to what is Cincinnati doing? It was honestly the dumbest play of all time on their part of how are you going to throw that pass? Also, you're going to throw a deep fade when Sorsby can effortlessly just keep scrambling around. You'll get within field goal range. You'll kick a field goal. We haven't won an overtime in 25 years. Why would you not just do that? But I mean, props to Hartzog. That takes some serious, serious guts to get beat, and then make the play of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, you guys, you used to do the swag player of the week, right? I mean, there's no doubt it's him because it's not anybody on the offense. They just didn't step up and have the guts to go win. But it's him, even though he objectively, he had a bad game, but he's the player of the game. He's the player of the game. His post-game interview, he's black shirt, he's all of it. But he had 5 picks last year. You hope that he's able to keep that going. And when the game's on the line, it's all right, yeah, he can make a play. He can make a play and he can do it. So, I was pumped for him. I mean, I was losing my mind that we won that game. I was couldn't believe that it came down to that after a 20-10. If we're up 20-10, I couldn't believe it came down to that. But hey, a win's a win. So another thing, and on Cincy, I mean, coaching malpractice. I had to go back and look at I was like, who was he throwing it to? Because that guy gave zero effort. And then it reminded me actually when we lost to Michigan when Adrian Martinez fumbled. I remember we threw a deep ball on 4th down, and it was Samori Toure that we threw it to. And he just ran down the sideline. A defender was on him. He didn't go back for the ball or anything. No. It's you didn't even try on 4th and forever. And that's this guy. He didn't even go for it. And I looked, I'm well, how many targets did he have? He had 1 catch for 5 yards.
It's not even your best player. Yeah. It's not even best on best. It's not even we're going to put our best player in the absolute best position. It was just a random, we're just going to throw a deep route to the end zone when you're in field goal range. Weird play. Yeah.
And I mean, I just even if I coach at the youth level, but it's every level of coaching. You're okay, when the game's online, you call plays for players, right? I mean, it's not, and that's.
It's Sorsby, man. You give the ball. I was extremely impressed by him. I think he couldn't pass, but he could run, and it was that's why it's almost even weirder. Where you're why are you going to let this guy who can't pass pass? Very very weird play.
But I still have a problem. I still have a problem with Lindenmeyer because I think it was an Illinois game last year when he threw a deep ball to him, and everyone's "Oh, Raiola overthrew it." I'm I don't know. Maybe Raiola's used to throwing to a guy that could actually run. He was 2 steps slow. Just call that play for your studs.
Let's talk Raiola. Okay, so thanks for we got 800 folks joining us tonight. We got Chuck Hall on the line. This is we're running through. We just ran through the full game, and we're going to talk a little bit high level of kind of what we saw. So we've made through the emotions of the game, which we truly experience everything from. I was experiencing everything from Michigan's going to score 80 points on us because we can't stop the run to actually we might be kind of good. And now after we watched the game a couple times, a couple of things that stood out. So on offense, everybody was kind of hammering the offense. We're the check downs, and that's all we were doing was throwing short passes. So we averaged 4.5 yards per play. We did have the ball for 39 minutes and 30 seconds. So 2/3 of the game, we basically held it. We're patient. Raiola completed 78% of his passes. He was accurate. He was efficient. He did pretty well. And then so I want to go through Raiola and then Emmett Johnson. Emmett Johnson finished with 32 touches. He was over 100 yards. He's a total workhorse. We clearly don't have a backup running back, which is a problem. But let's talk about Raiola to start. 78% completion percentage. What do you think of his performance? Was it what you expected? Were you hoping for more? Where were you at on him?
Well, I mean, I don't know what our offense is trying to be, but it seems like we recognize that a true running back and just power run game is not going to be there. So we're just using the pass game as an extension of the run. And to that end, we Big Ten Cincy to death.
Yeah.
I just look at time of possession, look at what we did. We never did anything fancy. We made people just want to, have their eyes bleed watching that game. If you're just a casual viewer, like, what is happening? I don't know what either of these teams are trying to do here.
Imagine Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's just like, what is this?
Yeah, this is football. Cool. Yeah.
What is this?
But if that's what we were trying to do, and you want a guy to go throw 80%, I mean, that's pretty effective. I wish we would. I don't know. It seems like we have Harburg is still on the roster. He does some unique things. Like, it would just be interesting if at some point we brought that out just to say, hey, we're just going to give him a different look and just have QB run game that somebody hasn't prepared for, so we can kind of just hit it and then go. I don't know. But as far as Raiola goes, if he's doing what he's being asked, great. If I see all 22 where we got guys sprinting wide open downfield, then there's problems.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, so he's 33 of 42. He had 243 yards passing. He averaged 6 yards a pass. So he actually averaged more than you probably think he did. Like right after the game, I would have been like, he averaged 1.3 yards per pass. That's what it felt like. But then, like, after rewatching, I was like, oh, there's like a bunch of 10-yard passes that he threw. Like, he had a bunch to Mills, he had a bunch to Hunter, he had a bunch to Dink. He had a lot of first down passes. I think he had 60 or 70% of his third down throws for first downs. So very strong. But I guess the thing that helped me more with him was watching a full weekend of games.
Yeah,
Arch Manning stinks.
Yeah, how about that? And talk about a game that the first quarter was over in a blink of an eye. That Texas-Ohio State game, nothing happened.
So, like, watching the rest of college football, Arch Manning stinks. Ty Simpson was not impressed with him, the Alabama quarterback. Yep. As I was watching across college football, like, I wanted to see that, like, extra spark from Raiola, but, like, maybe didn't see it as much. But, like, then after watching Arch Manning, after watching Ty Simpson, after watching, who are the other quarterbacks I saw there? It was just like, Drew Aller's okay. He's like not, he didn't jump off the page. I kind of came back and was like, I don't know. It's pretty nice to have a guy that completes basically every pass he throws.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's like, he is what he is. Like, he's not Adrian Martinez. He's not that fast, but he sits back there, cool, calm, collected, and he completes basically every pass he throws. He just doesn't do like the electric, like, he's not a Cam Newton. He's not like, he's not going to burst and run, but it's not the worst thing. They have a guy that basically completes every pass he throws.
Yeah. And I think our receivers are highly capable. There are some plays where it's like, okay, we threw that ball to Isaiah Hunter. He jumps up, catches it, and just like kind of falls down, expecting contact. There was no contact coming. He could have just landed and scored. I think we threw a ball, and I'm going to assume that Cortez Mills just kind of, slipped or whatever. But I think Raiola was throwing it to get him to stop, because if he stops on a dime, I think he's scoring, like a 60-yarder. Like, it would have been wide open. So I think there's more open than what we showed, but that's that first game. And first game getting a win against a decent opponent. We did enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think he looked better, and I'm like scrolling through the games from last week. Like, I thought he looked better than Carson Beck. I thought he looked better than Arch Manning. I thought he looked better than, like, there wasn't another quarterback out there that I saw. Maybe Lagway, because he's got a little bit of wiggle to him, but like, out of any other quarterbacks, I was like, man, he's got a very strong handle. He completes all the passes that he wants to make. Like, I feel like our wide receivers were the miss. And the wide receiver, like, yeah, exactly. Like, and there's a couple plays there. Like, Barney had a play on the rewatch, like when he caught the end around, the end around that he tripped, and like would have scored a touchdown. The guy just hit like his like quad pad, and I don't know. There's a lot of plays you're like, hopefully
Barney might have been playing with like multiple broken bones. So
yeah, he very well could have broken his back. That was a high likelihood, but there was enough there that I was like, okay, like, I don't know. I just hope we have the explosive play in our arsenal.
Yeah.
For winning sake, but also for like entertainment sake. If like I would like to be entertained.
Yeah. No, absolutely, to have entertaining football to watch, because our offense, it's not like it's just this recent stretch that we've been bad. Like, in our last 9 games, so I just looked up what the scores were. We've had 20 points or less in 8 of our last 9 games.
I know. And that's what's crazy is like 4 of those are with Holgerson.
Yeah.
And you kind of keep being like, just give him some time and he's going to start cooking. You're like, okay, can you start cooking now? Can you please?
Right.
Can you like when are you going to put up like 49? Like,
yeah. So, that's 20 points or less. And so then I was like, well, what's a Big Ten, average points per game, in conference play? And it's 26.6 is what they're averaging. So,
yeah,
it's just have to be 1 touchdown better. And if we look back at on our conference scoring too, in 23 was 15 points per game. That's not enough. 24 was 20 points per game. Okay, well, if we're showing that increase, you just got to score 26 because Big Ten offenses aren't good enough to just consistently score 30.
Yeah,
we should win 10 games like that.
Do we need a backup running back? So Emmett Johnson basically was the only running back we had all game. He looked good. I think everybody probably left with the same level of okay. Yeah, Fongwei is saying Holgerson's not the issue. He's led the nation in total offense before when at OSU. I agree with that. I don't think he's the issue, but he's also the offensive coordinator, so he's got to dial some stuff up. Emmett Johnson, I think everybody kind of left maybe with the same okay, that kid can play. He's definitely got the best handle of the offense. He runs hard. He's a bulldog. He's battling things out when he's out there. He had 32 touches. He went over 100 yards. He caught some balls out of the backfield. And when other guys came in, when Mosey came in, when Nelson came in, I don't know. I don't know what you felt. I was like, ugh. Those guys are small. They're not that fast. Get Emmett Johnson back in there. They can play against Akron. I sort of had that visceral reaction to it. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. And so do you see any reason whatsoever to have Emmett Johnson in the game the next 2 games? We know what he can do.
Yeah, it's you let him play the first quarter and then shut it down. But it's my concerns with him are what happens when you play a big guy? He's just so small that he's not in Amir. Amir was small, but was tough and I guess a little bit bigger. But I just feel like a Michigan or Michigan State's going to sit on him and just shatter him in half. He's tough, but he's small. And then you're looking at the backups, and they came in and oh boy. And, maybe we just don't have backups anymore in this day and age, but the days of Roy Halou and, having us, being a backup to a future NFL guy in Burkhead, it's maybe those days are done, but you'd hope one of these guys can play.
Well, even just you think about a guy remember when you had all of a sudden Jock Yant came in, as that backup, you're he's got a little spark to him and he's a big body. Great. But
something.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. And that's
a guy on campus that can run fast and be strong.
Yeah, so out of 64 tackle attempts, so this is an interesting stat that Cincinnati made 64 tackles out of 64 tackle attempts. We only made an opponent miss 6 times. So we didn't have a lot of wiggle. There's not a lot of wiggle. There wasn't a lot of missed tackles. There wasn't a lot of broken tackles. There wasn't a lot of the 1 yards after catch plays, the Lindenmeyer play where he gained a couple extra yards. So, I think those are things that maybe with a couple games against Akron and Houston Christian or Baptist or whatever religion they decide to be when they show up, is we got to make some guys miss. And if you can't do that, you're in for a long run in the Big Ten, because those guys are great tacklers across Michigan and Michigan State and Maryland and Iowa. So I would say those are I left concerned there of if Raiola is not going to make a massive play, and Emmett Johnson's not going to make a massive play, and the wide receivers aren't really making massive plays, then you're sort of this weird methodical offense that, great, we scored points, but we didn't get to your point. We didn't get to 26.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, there's always the nice thing. I just look at our schedule, and I'm looking up and down the schedule, and there's not a team that truly scares me. When it would be oh God, we got to go to the Horseshoe. All right. Well, Happy Valley is going to be tough, and it's going to be late. So let's assume that's a loss. But every other one of these, they're beatable. So it's you don't have to be, faster than the bear. You just got to be faster than the other guy running away from the bear. And I just look at, Maryland, Iowa, Northwestern. These aren't world beaters. We just have to be better than those guys. We don't have to look like, Miami catching one-handed passes, in prime time.
Amazing.
We just have to be better than these really, really poor teams.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of things well. Like we converted a ton of third downs. 2 out of 3 red zone possessions, we scored touchdowns. Besides the one that we had the penalty and should have scored on. So, third down conversions were very strong. I think 11 of 20 critical downs we completed. So we had a 55% completion or success rate on critical downs, third and fourth downs that we converted on. Red zone is very strong. It's like there are a lot of good things there. I think as a Husker fan, you watch it and like the way the Husker fans know good football when they see it, there was just enough there. You're like, okay, like, when the game's on the line, who are we going to? I would argue you've got some pretty strong receivers. Like I think Hunter and Key are both good. I think they're both upgrades from last year. Both those guys can go up and get it. Both those guys can get open. Barney can get open. He kind of had a weird game. I mean, Hunter finished 6 catches for 65 yards. Key finished 6 catches, 61 yards. That's a pretty good blend of those two. Lindenmeyer had 5 catches. So like you're spreading the ball across Hunter, Key, Lindenmeyer, Barney a little bit. Johnson had 7 catches for 27. So like you're spreading it out across it, but like I think that lack of wiggle and the lack of like juice for any of these guys, it left you with a little bit of like, okay, like you can kind of keep doing that, but the second one play breaks down, like the whole thing falls apart. But I think those were definitely concerning points. Anything else on the offense? I want to jump into the defense here.
No, I just think we got to find somebody that can take the top off of it. Somebody can hit a double move and have that, and that comes with shiftiness. I think Barney's got that. My real hope is that Barney was supposed to be a huge part of that game plan, and I'm hoping that he's got dinged up early, and they're like, all right, let's kind of shelf that. We'll move to some other guys, and they just didn't quite have it because they're all new. All those guys.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I thought about that too. Like maybe he was because they did run all those plays last year with Jalen Lloyd, and they had him coming out of the back and wheel routes and all sorts of stuff. But hopefully that's the case. But no turnovers.
Right.
So
no turnovers,
no interceptions. No, I mean we had multiple fumbles. They just were not recovered. But like
no special teams gaffes other than one kick out of bounds. But obviously everyone's going to do that once. Ooh.
Offensive line, you had 1 jump. You had 1 15-yard penalty on the unsportsmanlike, which is kind of a weak penalty. Only 3 penalties the entire game. So overall, pretty strong performance there from like. I think that to me was another kind of major thing where, again, like as you're shifting back and forth from like the Frost era or years before, like Frost offense was way more exciting, I would argue, than this one, right? Like it was kind of boom or bust. You had players all over the place. Like Adrian can score from wherever. You had like deep ball threats, Trey Palmers of the world. But this one it's like he's building this thing that doesn't make sense, or it doesn't. It's like a Big Ten offense that doesn't make mistakes. Not doesn't make sense. It doesn't make mistakes. And you're like, I felt oddly confident in this, that I was like, we're just going to kind of methodically work through this and win the game, which is better, right? It's like, it's a formula that wins as opposed to the like at the end of every single Frost era game, you're like, okay, here it comes. Come on. And they're like never, ever came.
Yeah. And it does protect Dylan too. I mean, it's a lot of, dink and dunk kind of, stuff, but like he's getting the ball out on time, on rhythm for the most part. And when he doesn't, he ditches it.
Yeah. Last comment from Fongway before we moved to his defense. I think you nailed it. The lack of wiggle, the lack of juice, and more downfield throws from the QB who needs to play with more moxie. I thought his moxie is interesting. I think he's got that cool, calm, collected confidence. He's cool in the pocket. He almost like falls asleep back there sometimes. Offensive line did pretty well blocking for him. It's almost like he never like zips it. Like, did you watch Bryce Underwood at all, the Michigan quarterback?
Yeah, I saw a little bit, and just the highlights for the most part.
I mean, he's got a bazooka.
Yeah,
like he just like throws a rock. So I take that back. Maybe he was the one that I watched. I was like, whoa. Like, he's throwing like zips. Like Dylan kind of throws everything with a touch.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think it's, guys caught it. He caught, 78% completion percentage. Like they catch it, he throws it. But it's like for a number 1 overall QB, you'd think there'd be like more zips, more deep balls, more like moxie. I think kind of like Fongway's saying.
And I don't think we're going to see a lot of, wiggle and moxie in these next 2 games, but I do think we're going to see Dylan go out and throw, 18 passes, maybe, he'll probably play half the game, but throw 14, 15 passes, complete all of them. Remember when Graham Mertz came on the scene and threw like his first 19 completions? Like, I want to see Dylan just do that the next 2 games. You're like, wait, the last 2 games he went 39.
I think he didn't have I think he didn't have an incompletion in the second half.
Yeah.
I think he and so he has that in him. It's like he completes most of his passes. So pretty
So
strong
goes
effort.
39 to 39 with like 5 touchdowns, 0
Yeah.
interceptions against Akron and Houston Christian.
Yeah,
And let's get to
well,
the
it's like it's one of the things that we talked about before the season. It's like, what if he was like a legitimate Heisman contender? Like you need like that level of performance, but you need to do it here. You need like a 6 touchdown Akron performance for that to be like real. Because once you get to like the Michigan State game, like it's it's 2017. You're not going to win any Heismans against them. All right. Shout out to we're up to 1,021 folks that are joining us live on a Wednesday night. It's 9:30. I got Chuck Hall with me, who you may know is the captain and coach of the best 9-year-old team are they 9 or 8 9-year-old flag football team?
Second grade. Shout out
grade.
Alcorn Youth Sports.
Alcorn Youth Sports. They are just running plays all over the place. They're running fades and screens, wide receiver reverses.
I sent some film in the whole go.
Just misdirections all over the place. You've never seen a 9-year-old play like this before. Jumping into the defense, what happened?
Yeah, I think that we've got some guys that can make some splash plays. I really do. The obvious is we're missing Ty and Nash.
Yeah.
But everything else, I think, looks really good. I think we actually have a lot of upgrades in a lot of places. Yeah. I love how Nwaneri looks. I love how McCullough looks coming off the edge. Like, I mean, he looks like he looks Randy Gregory to me. I know he's coming out of the linebacker spot, but you don't have a Jamari Butler, but I think he looks really good. Like he can develop into something really special. Yeah. Obviously, Shavers is a known commodity. And then our secondary, we have a lot of strong pieces. If Hartzog can figure it out, I don't know. There's this little flashes of Dejon Gomes with Hartzog, and I'm like, give me that.
Yeah,
be a ball.
Pasty was outstanding. I think, and Butler called him excellent after the game. Forced a fumble, totally rattled Thorsby. He had really nothing all game. Andrew Marshall played well. Donovan Jones played well. Hartzog, game-ending interception. I think there's. I mean, how many passing yards did he finish up with? He finished with 69 passing yards. Nice. 13 to 25, though. I mean, he's less 50% completion percentage, 69 yards, 2.8 average, like 1 interception. Like he wasn't doing anything passing, and that makes me feel very strong on that regard. I think the concerns are Nwaneri was in there a little, there was a little bit of, there's no sacks, which maybe it's just it's a wiggle, a quarterback who can move around a little bit. But not a lot there, not a lot of plays for loss that were there. And then I think just the breakdowns that occurred that have just oh man, the breakdown drives that they scored, their touchdown drives lasted 2 minutes and 3 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I think those are probably the biggest concerns, and they're primarily done by just running the ball right at us. So I would say those are the concerns. I would agree. I think, man, if you, it's like that Big Ten thing where you're like, oh great, we can stop the pass. No one throws in the Big Ten. We you see Iowa's quarterback. That guy can't even throw a forward pass. Yeah, he just that. It was literally could not. He threw 44 yards against Albany, completely embarrassing.
But his last outing against Albany, he just lit him up.
Yeah, he lit him up. But it's that's the type of stuff that you're like, oh sweet, we're gonna shut down Iowa's passing game. They can't pass. Right. It doesn't matter. They can't throw the ball anyway. So. In the Big Ten, you got to be able to stop the run. And I think we miss Ty and Nash a lot more than probably we think. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting.
That's the hard part too. Is you lose 5th rounders, 6th rounders, and it's and our defense is crippled by that. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I don't. I think we'll see what happens the next few weeks. I think Butler's. Maybe they're not. I think you come into the offseason, you've got so much of the hype coming in that you're like, oh yeah, we fixed these holes, no problem. Riley Van Pop will fix the hole, no problem. Nwaneri's a 5-star, it'll be no problem. And then you're like, oh, actually, we did need Nash and Ty. But they are young. They're all starting, kind of for the first time. Javen starting for the first time. Shavers, all these guys are kind of first-time starters. So I maybe give them time, see what happens over the next few weeks.
We got a lot of big, long bodies. I mean, they're athletic dudes. I think
you pitch a shutout. You pitch a shutout against Auburn or Akron, and you maybe get some confidence. It's okay, this is how you're supposed to play. This is how the boys are supposed to go out. Which, God, if we don't shut out Akron, who got shut out by Wyoming, it's
yeah. So you enter Michigan, right, and you've only given up 17 points on the year in 3 games,
right?
You got Dylan, 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. We're cruising.
Yeah,
sounds pretty good.
All right, real quick, let's cover off on special teams. We got a field goal kicker, which is the first time I've been able to say that in, I don't even know, again, 10 years.
Yeah.
Like he just effortlessly steps up and bombs a 52-yarder. Like I was like, I haven't seen us make I haven't seen us make a 30-yarder, let alone a 52-yarder that I like didn't even think there was a chance he was going to make that. And he just like bombed it like an NFLer. I was like, that was outstanding. The 22-yarder with confidence, the extra points. Like I was not sweating extra points, which was great. Like, I mean, literally think about the last like 10 years of just like
touchdowns. He scored 6,
like,
gave up 2.
Just sweating like all of our like. So that would be a very interesting thing of does he actually flip special teams to the point that Archie is this weapon that we can make field goals from all over the place. I mean, that wins Big Ten games. Like it's
without
like,
a doubt.
I mean, the 52-yarder is the difference of the game. We won by 3. The 22-yarder is the difference. You won by 3. Like any of those things, and also just pinning them deep. Like these are game-changing things. That man, if Eckler's like actually got these guys dialed in that way, it's like where the hell has he been? Where's he been?
Yeah, I still have no idea what we're doing on punt return. So that's a one weakness on special teams that I'm seeing right now, where it's like, okay, you got Barney saying he's going to be the leading returner in the country, and you just let 4 gunners just have a clear shot at him, and he's like, I'm not calling fair catch.
Yeah, and he just refuses to call fair catch. Just, I mean, he's gonna fumble those. Something terrible is gonna happen. But yeah, that's a weird one. I didn't see. I mean, I watched a ton of college football. There are a ton of returns. But there was a couple. Who did I see that? So Ole Miss that brought one to the house. Somebody brought one to the house. Oh no, South Carolina. South Carolina brought one to the house, and I was like so jealous.
Right.
But yeah, that was.
And then I don't remember which team it was, but they housed their opening kickoff, and they've done that 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
I gotta look up who that was, but it's like we haven't done that ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like they didn't make the mistake. The one mistake was who's the idiot that kicked it out of bounds? That was right after the touchdown. I think it was. It was Hole.
Yeah, that was.
I think Hole kicked it out of bounds right after we scored a touchdown, which is like just the dumbest thing ever. Like, what do you?
I still want to blame Alvano for it. He probably told him to do it.
Alvano, what a clown. Oh man. All right. So offense, defense, special teams. We got Akron coming to town. Akron lost 10-0 to Wyoming in week 1. They produced 231 yards, 139 passing yards. Should be an opportunity for Nebraska to beat up on somebody pretty good. We got to get young players reps. We got to get backup running backs in. We got to pitch a shutout, explosive plays, fix the miscues. Anything else you're looking for in the home opener?
Well, I think it's just we need a little redemption on them, right? This is a Scott Frost opener rematch, is it not? So the game that got canceled had to be the drunkest I've ever been for a Husker game. Tailgate all day, lead up to kickoff, and they tell you go back out and tailgate for a little while longer. Maybe we'll play tonight at midnight. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was one. And, I think even so, it's like the ability to get to week 3 or 4 unscathed, especially looking across college football. I mean, how's Alabama doing right now? Alabama's trying to fire DeBoer. They're trying to pay a $60 million buyout. They're like completely shut down.
How fun is that?
I mean, complete mayhem. Texas is in shambles because Arch Manning's a disaster. They don't know what to do about that. Clemson, who was supposed to win the national championship, loses their first game. Notre Dame's already lost a game. They're kind of in shambles because they don't know what they got. So I think, you come out of that, especially like a long weekend like that. You're like, okay, we won. Let's keep winning. Let's win the games we're supposed to. At least get us to October where we're still playing some interesting football. We'll deal with Michigan when it comes. But yeah, that's the Alabama meltdown is the Alabama one. Do you think they're like completely on the downswing?
I mean, we've witnessed it, right? We've watched it happen, and there is some large money flowing around, in the Southeast, and I don't know that Alabama has it. Can they keep up? I mean, obviously, you would assume they can. Well, they've won, so of course they can keep up. Alabama was not like a real university 20 years ago.
I just think if you,
I mean, they just don't have the donor base.
They've come out. AJ McCarron came out and said they have less than $20 million to deal with in NIL, which is basically half of what most of the major players are doing. So they don't have the NIL money right now. I'm not sure if they have the money to fire DeBoer, but even if they did have the money to fire DeBoer, like you're going down the path that we went down, which is why it's like I could see it clear as day of like it's like I haven't figured out DeBoer is like Solich or is he Callahan or is he Riley? Like where are they in the like, the end of the dynasty like mode where first year DeBoer, he goes 9-4, knocks on the playoff door, kind of like Solich. He's kind of good, but not really that good. But they're like losing the locker room, they're losing the fans. It's like a full meltdown. It has a lot of like post 90s Nebraska to it.
Yeah, but if money can solve it, and then if they don't have the funds at the moment, like how much would Bama fans be willing to put together? What would be their level of commitment to avoid starting to go 5-7 for 15 years?
Yeah.
I mean, can you put a number on it? This kind of brings me to the question I wanted to ask you.
Let's do it.
I've pitched this to a lot of my buddies and stuff. All right. So if your job was going to offer you a bonus, right? Hey, one-time bonus. What amount would that number have to get to before you took the bonus if you could instead just say no bonus, but we're winning a natty? Okay. So if it's $1 bonus, you're going to say, no, give me the natty instead. But there's got to be a point. And I think, like for me, the number is way, way higher than I would ever like to admit to my wife or my loved ones, because just money is whatever. You need it. But if it's just extra money, like a natty does so much more for like you and your relationship with your kids and your relationship with your dad and all your buddies. So
is the question like, let's use real numbers. If you gave me the choice is either like I get a $100,000 bonus or Nebraska wins national championship.
Yeah.
Or if I get $1 million bonus or Nebraska wins national championship.
Correct.
What's that number?
At what point do you take the bonus?
It's very high. I mean, like 50 to 100 million probably.
So if you're a Bama fan,
yeah,
can that number be much lower now? Is the cost? Can it cost you less to be like, okay, let's avoid disaster? We might not win a natty right away, but we've won them. I need to avoid disaster. Okay, can 20 million avoid disaster? 100 million avoid disaster? How many people do we need to get involved in this? And because it impacts your life. I mean,
because I would also spin that, like if I got the bonus, if I got $100 million bonus, I would spend 90 back on the team.
Right.
So like ipso facto, then like that next season we would have a like $91 million roster, and it would just be like starting at quarterback Bryce Underwood, starting at wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Like it would just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna take the 7 Heisman finalists and I'd like name a number and you're coming to my team.
Yeah.
So yeah, spin zone. I guess I would end up with no money regardless.
Either way, you're not getting money. Yeah.
either way, I'm getting that natty. It's just a matter of if I'm getting the bonus and spin zoning it back into the program or not. The number's high. Number's very high. I value winning over most anything else in my life.
Absolutely.
My wife she would understand happiness. Let's do all right. Shout out to the 1,100 folks who've joined us this evening. We appreciate you guys joining, especially at 9:30 at night on a Wednesday. We're an hour into this thing. We're going to jump into some picks. Chuck is the picks master. I want to steal some picks for you coming up over the weekend. Let's do a quick rapid fire through some games. I'm going to pick out some good ones for us and see where you're at. You ready? Have you looked at the weekend slate yet?
Oh yeah.
Illinois Duke. Illinois favored by 3.
Oh. Illinois just seems like a solid team to me. That seems like a no-brainer to me. I hope to hell Duke can beat them, and Illinois is kind of a fraud, but I don't think they are. I think they're well coached. I think they got a lot of good athletes in the right places.
I don't care if they win because we don't play them. I feel like indifferent towards it. I guess
right.
If they win, great. Like I like any team we play to lose like consistently. So I think Illinois is going to win too. Because I think Duke is just not recovered in the post-Elko era. Illinois wins, covers. Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 3. Everybody's very high in Iowa State. Iowa has a quarterback that can't throw. They have a strong defense, strong rushing attack again. But Iowa State looks good. They have a 75% chance, according to ESPN, favored by 3. Iowa State versus Iowa.
Yeah, I would almost want to just like, if I could make like an exact pick and just like, it's going to push. Iowa State's going to win by 3. because you know it's going to be a 3-point game. It's going to be a push, but I would lean Iowa State, but you know that thing's going to push.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. Penn State, I'm just throw this one in there. Penn State, Florida International, only because it's a big line, 41.5. I feel like Penn State's not like a powerhouse. It's going to put up 41.5. What do you think?
No. I think, yeah, I like taking giant favorites because all you really have to do is just like, you turn that game on, it's 28-0 at the first quarter, and you're sitting on Florida International, and you're just like, what did I do? There's no coming back from it. And you're like, why did I do this to myself? And then all of a sudden it gets out of hand. It's, 63-0. I love taking giant favorites. It's a stupid thing that I always do. Unless it's like Bama under Saban they would almost always lose it by like 1.5 points. Like they'd always be 50.5-point favorites and win 49-0. They'd get like true pure numbers. Penn State's not that. They're not so perfect enough that they're going to just like tease their fans. They're going to give the fans what they want.
We get kind of a weak slate next week. This is
OU Michigan.
Yeah, I'm skipping through. OU Michigan's coming up, but let me get there. Hang on. Florida versus South Florida. Florida by 17.5. South Florida looked pretty good.
They looked really good. They looked very athletic. I would lean South Florida in that one.
Okay.
And
that's I don't know how good Florida is. Switching that one up. Okay, Michigan, Oklahoma. That's a very interesting one. Oklahoma by 5.5. 6:30 p.m. game at Oklahoma. Oklahoma by 5.5 over Michigan. Ooh.
Doesn't it seem like they're just begging you to take Michigan? Oklahoma stinks. Michigan's good, right? I mean, isn't that kind of the narrative here over the last year? But OU favored against Michigan. That if OU can cover, their quarterback's going to make sure they're going to cover because he's got his whole NIL deal riding with a bookie in Norman.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's awesome. I don't know. I mean, it'll be a great game for us to watch. Okay, okay. So who are you picking first?
Yeah, well, give me OU. Give me OU because I think they're begging you to take Michigan.
Okay, separate question. Which is better for us playing Michigan in 2 weeks? Them winning or losing?
I really think them losing is better for us, and just to have that like little bit of shakiness on their confidence, and also, I mean, they got their coach isn't going to be there, right? He's still suspended,
correct?
So if we can just kind of have them, just lose a little bit of confidence. Maybe their freshman quarterback maybe makes some mistakes. Maybe he looks like Spencer Rattler early career where he's just throwing picks all over the yard and stuff like that. For how OU was. So I'm hoping that he can just like really look poor against a team that's, I mean, this is put up or shut up time for OU. They have to get back. Otherwise, I mean, their coach is dead man walking if they lose this game at home.
Okay. Across the rest of the Big Ten, looks like there's no other good games. Maryland, NIU, Northwestern, Western Illinois, Penn State, FIU. We talked about that. Indiana, Kennesaw State. Good Lord, Indiana. They don't schedule anybody. Minnesota's playing Northwestern State. Good Lord. Ohio State's playing Grambling. Oh, my goodness. All right. Oregon, Oklahoma State. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think Okie State, they sure seem like they're reeling. I mean, I don't think they have much.
He's making all excuses right now. Gundy's like, he's on the excuse factory right now.
He's at the point of his career. He can absolutely do it, though. I mean, just let it fly.
Yeah. Rutgers versus Miami, Ohio. Shout out to Fighting Lubecks. Rutgers. Oh, maybe Miami, Ohio. The MAC champs pull that one out.
What's the line on that one? Because Miami, Ohio's got some skill.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the game right here, but nobody else. Oregon wins by 40, according to TJ Hill. Probably accurate. And then the Huskers. Huskers 30. What are we? 35.5. Where are you taking in that game?
Yeah. Obviously, I have to just say Huskers here, but
you think we cover?
There's no way we give up a point. Okay, so we're not going to give up a point to them, but scoring 35 would be really, really nice.
Can we?
It's really hard to imagine though because you got to get your young guys in. It's a game where there's no reason to cover that number for us. I know that I said I like the big favorites. In this one, though, there's no reason for us to do it. I know. You got a known commodity in Dylan. Let him play the first half. Will they bring out Latif as the second quarterback? I know he's listed as second string. Will they have him sling it?
I think he's supposed to.
That'd be fun to see.
38-7 says TJL. I think we win and cover. I'd like to say we win and cover. I'm like running through my head of like how many bad like out of conference games where I've hoped we just smash them and like I'm sweating in the third quarter.
Yeah.
This won't happen. Huskers win. Kool-Aid's flowing. Boys look good. Chuck, thanks for joining. 1,200 of us. Thanks for joining the Huskers podcast tonight. Huskers roll this weekend. Thanks for joining for the Cincinnati recap. We'll see you guys next week. Maybe we'll do a post-game pod if we win. When we win, we'll go from there. Chuck, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it was a blast. Go Big Red.